Here at Silverstone for the opening round of the Toyo Tyres Motorsport UK British Rallycross Championship, the RX150s are getting ready for their final. Can anybody stop Chrissy Palmer? Chrissy, dominant driver in championships past, has been the fastest throughout qualifying. And so he is, as ever, the benchmark driver as he looks for a 5th title in a row. The grid is formed, it's Chrissy Palmer on pole, Mark Scott with him at the front of the grid, Steve Jones lines up alongside. Row 2 is Brett Harris and Kevin Feeney. Engine notes rise, the lights will go green, it is blast off. It's a small field of the RX150s, but it's a very competitive one. Chrissy Palmer has the advantage on the inside line just as they dive into turn 1. This on board with Brett Harris, and you can see how difficult it is, how much work there's going to be put in, and contact between Feeney and Palmer. Chrissy Palmer off the road. This is Brett Harris going through and gaining ground, but Chrissy Palmer, the champion, gets mugged at turn 2, and he falls way, way, way down the order. Is he even still circulating? Has he got going again? Chrissy Palmer trying to sort himself out and rejoin, and that now leaves him with a huge task. There he is in the background, he's all fired up. It was contact between him and Kevin Feeney, and as they come out then from turn 7, through the normal route, for the first time incidentally, the RX150s do the Joker lap this year. But nobody as yet goes for the Joker. Brett Harris goes through in 2nd place. Mark Scott leads the way. But what can Chrissy Palmer do now, assuming that the car is okay? It may well have suffered damage, which will affect the pace. But he's got work to do as Mark Scott comes out of turn 3. 1000cc motorcycle engine RX150s. They're light, they're quick, they're powerful, and they dance across the road. You can see how much effort has to be put in to keep them in a straight line. Everybody that's ever raced them always reckons they're great fun. It's just a shame that we've dropped a bit in numbers for this season. But hopefully, with the efforts being put in with the championship and the category, they'll be back. But not Kevin Feeney. He parks by the side of the road. He is going no further, having been involved early on with Chrissy Palmer. And Feeney actually has had a pretty bad day because he's been a retirement from other races as well with mechanical dramas. It looks like they've struck once more. It might be a legacy of the contact, it might be something else. There is Palmer, who is absolutely charging. It's very rare that Chrissy does not win in RX150s, but right now he finds himself way down the order. So it is Mark Scott leading the way at the moment. Can he hang on to the advantage as he comes across the loose section? Dad Andy, the man behind the Albertech racing team that won the supercar class last year with Mark Higgins, and Andy himself a very accomplished rallycrosser. There is Chrissy Palmer down towards turn 7. He's still hustling on and he's still trying to catch up to the pack ahead of him, but it's not looking that easy here. Squeal of tyres. Mark Scott throws the car through turn 1. Back onto the power once again here. Down through the gears as further down the order there is Brett Harris. Now Mark Scott goes through. Work, work, work all the time, but he has now got away. There is Harris behind him in 2nd place. The gap had widened a little bit, but Brett Harris doing his best to bring down the gap. Now his father has had a win in the Retro Rallycross Championship final. Can Brett do the same in RX150s? They turn their way out of 7. But up front, Mark Scott is doing the job very nicely indeed here. He's maintaining that advantage, maintaining the gap. As there, look, 199 is Chrissy Palmer, but he's not really clawing back the lost ground. Maybe the car does have damage, a legacy of the contact on the opening lap, and that's what's stopping him from catching these two. So Scott it is that leads the way. You've got Brett Harris 2nd, the Steve Jones running in 3rd, and Palmer down in 4th place, in fact, at the moment. Mark Scott, though, is looking good for honours. Try as he might, Brett Harris cannot get close enough. Harris turns his way through out of the turn 7 right-hand hairpin, through the normal lap, and then up towards the timing line, back onto the tarmac, and they start their last lap of the race. So they're both going to have to get the Joker done. There, accelerating out of turn 1 is the race leader, Mark Scott, and actually to the eye now, the gap down a little bit. There is Stephen Jones down in 3rd spot, but Brett Harris is charging on. What can he do about the leader? And Chrissy Palmer, you see, is still a long way back. He lost time on the first lap, but still, all clearly is not 100% with that car. So, it is Mark Scott who is sideways out of turn 5. leads the way with Brett Harris closing up a little bit as they bounce their way now down towards turn 7. There's Palmer. He's, what, a third of a lap back. He's trying as hard as ever, but up towards the checkered flag, it is going to be Mark Scott who will win, seemingly because he comes through the joker. That's Brett Harris ahead of him, but Harris has not jokered. So Brett Harris wins on the road, but there for second on the road to inherit the win surely is Mark Scott. All change post-race. Mark Scott the winner from Steve Jones and Chrissy Palmer. Brett Harris fourth for not serving the joker, and Kevin Peeney excluded for driving in a manner incompatible with safety. It means Mark Scott leaves Silverstone as the championship leader from Steve Jones and Chrissy Palmer third. We've never said that before, I don't think. Next stop is Lyndon.